fissures forming, even fissures forming up to 20 miles away from the volcano. This volcano is gonna blow. It is gonna blow big time. There are fissures forming all across the whole region of the caldera on all sides. There are
Cathay Pacific, Copa Airlines, El Al Airlines, Emirates, Frontier, Penang Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, Iberia, Iceland Air, Japan Airlines, KLM, Korean Air, LATAM, Lufthansa, Norwegian Air, Porter Airlines,
okay.
Qatar Airways, Royal Air Maroc, Scandinavian Airlines, Sun Country, Swiss Airlines, TAAL, Cape Verde Airlines, Turkish Airlines, Virgin Atlantic Airways, and all international arrivals.
Okay.
The following carriers are international arrivals.
See, as I was saying, there are fissures forming all across TAAL caldera and surrounding areas. This is because of magma intrusion. This is a huge, dangerous situation. I mean, this is the first time in its recorded history that there are fissures across such a wide area. This is because of continuous, non-stop magma intrusion. All the quakes ranging between magnitude 1.5 and magnitude 4.1 are the result of magma intrusion into the caldera edifice. And this will likely form a massive eruption if this intrusion does not stop. And I mean, the craters could only hold back so much pressure before the whole thing just kabooms into a massive eruption. I mean, this could become a super eruption, guys. I mean, if this does not stop, if this magma intrusion does not stop, we could be talking about a Krakatoa, perhaps even a Tambora-style eruption. I mean, this is getting very scary. You might even have eruptions forming at these fissures. I mean, the magma isn't that, because it's new magma, it could be pretty, how am I going to say, fluid. It might be more non-explosive. You might have a lot of lava flows. Even though TAAL caldera has had very explosive eruptions in its past, there's two possibilities. One, you're going to have a lot, eruptions forming at the fissures, like at Hawaii, or maybe a little more explosive eruptions, or you might just have a gigantic super eruption as these fissures are formed by, rising magma.
The airport Line Station, with direct subway service to downtown Boston and connecting service to commuter rail.
So yes, these fissures at TAAL caldera are extremely dangerous because not only could they form cracks in the ground, but magma could escape through them. There's magma right below the ground there. Like, there's quakes at 1 kilometer deep. That's magma intruding into the caldera. I mean, the fact that there's quakes surrounding the TAAL caldera lake, like on all sides of the caldera, by the way, on north, on the south, on the east, on the west, and that's a huge lake too. Like, these fissures are forming on an area that is even wider than Long Valley caldera. So imagine if magma just fills up the whole chamber and you get this one massive VEI-8 eruption, or VEI-7 for that matter. Probably more likely if it is going to have if it's going to have a major eruption, it's probably most likely going to be VEI-5, VEI-6. I mean, there was lava fountaining at the crater, so it's a sign that maybe the eruption won't be so powerful. It could also do what happened in 1754 and just erupt for months and months and months and months. It could very well do that too. So it could be a more gradual but long duration eruption.
Thank you. So welcome. It's all the way up there.
So right now, the quakes at the caldera are still going on. As of now, there are still quakes. The eruption has mostly ceased. That's the problem. The eruption ceased. There's no more eruptive activity at the volcano. no eruptive activity, continuous magma intrusion is a very bad sign, guys. It is a very bad sign what is going on at TAAL caldera right now. I mean, there's been unrest at that volcano for years. Years and years and years. This means, that's the blue line. I'm in Boston right now. Anyway, there's been continuous unrest at TAAL volcano since the 90s. And yet the volcano has not erupted since 1977. Way overdue, guys, way overdue. So all that magma has probably just been sitting in its chamber waiting to go up to the surface. I mean, and that eruption that happened the other day probably slightly emptied out the chamber, which let more magma to basically refill the chamber. But now you probably have a larger magma chamber down there that's probably can't hold back all the pressure, because the 20th century was actually one of the least active centuries since record keeping began in the 1500s. So, and the thing is, it's a massive caldera. It's a huge caldera, guys. It extends from all the way from the Pacific Ocean to the south, all the way north of the lake. It is a giant caldera. And the fact there are fissures even 20 miles west of the edge of TAAL Lake. I don't mean the crater. I mean TAAL Lake, 25 miles west and southwest of the crater. There are fissures there. There's magma that is very close to the surface there too. This is extremely, and I mean extremely dangerous, guys. This is as bad as it gets. We can expect a massive eruption within days to weeks. I mean, we might have a pretty big eruption within a couple days, but the thing is, the fact that the eruption has ceased, you know why you're having these fissures? Is because you're not getting enough release of pressure at the crater. You're not. So what you're getting is magma is continuing to rise and rise and rise, but you're not getting pressure release at the crater. The initial eruption, the initial magmatic eruption, was the magma that was probably there from the 70s. Old magma, cool magma, and pretty viscous magma. Because when I was watching the eruption, it didn't look like a Strombolian eruption, like it was liquid magma, like a Stromboli. No, it was ashy magma. It was very ashy. Like Krakatoa had these type of eruptions. When Krakatoa first came to life in June of 1883, this is how it came to life. It came to life as a, ash/magma lava type eruption, but then you had the mixing of magmas, the older, cooler magma mixing with the hotter, younger magma coming in from below, which is what's happening at TAAL right now. You're definitely getting the mixing of magmas right now. And right now, eruptive activity is almost at zero. Like, there's no eruptive activity. There's only steaming at the crater. That's about it. It's just steaming right now. But you're having fissures surrounding the volcano on all sides for 20, 30, even 40 miles in some cases. If this erupts, this could form a new super volcano, like a big one. TAAL crater is not just a volcano. That's literally just one of the vents of the volcano. TAAL volcano is a super volcano, guys. It is not a single volcano. It's a bunch of vents that is gonna blow, and I mean big time. There are several eruptive centers in TAAL caldera. And if all of those go off, so help me God, this is gonna be a disaster. Well, I gotta go now, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.